showing we don't need roads.
Matt, good to see you, man. How are you?
I am very good. How are you?
I'm doing so well. I'm going to jump into this. I really love that we're at a place with the superhero genre where we're kind of reverse engineering these guys, sort of taking them apart to see what ticks. I've been having these really nerdy conversations with my friends for years. And honestly, the perk of my job is that I end up winning the arguments with my friends because I can say, well, I was talking to Robert Downey Jr., I was talking to Christian
Right.
Bale, and he told me, and they hate me for it. So I'm curious,
yeah.
now that you are a part of the superhero genre, does that mean that you will forever win any sort of nerdy debate that you have with your friends about superheroes or Star Wars, because you can sort of drop like I was in Jupiter's Legacy, or like I am Anakin Skywalker?
I don't think so, because I think, as much as you think you're a nerd, there's probably somebody that's always nerdier. For example, I was on Rebel Force Radio, which is a Star Wars podcast, the other night, and I love those guys. I've known them for years. And, they are uber geeks. I think I'm a Star Wars geek, and I'm not compared to those guys. I mean, they could outduel me in any kind of trivia, that has to do with Star Wars. And I've been making it for the last 15 years. So no, it doesn't make me any smarter. But that's, it's interesting you say that, because I think people in this genre, fans of this genre, I should say, have really gotten smarter over the years. And it's not, I don't mean the person has gotten smarter, but I mean the storytelling and the expectation is smarter now. So, and I think we do a good job of presenting that and building that case for us by giving us, 8 half episodes of an origin story.
Yeah, which is something that normally is squeezed into 2 hours. I've always been sort of fascinated with the physicality that goes into voice acting, because it's much more than just saying words into a microphone. So I was curious, what is the biggest difference between a day in the recording studio being Anakin Skywalker versus a day physically being on set in front of a camera?
Well, everybody always says, what do you like better, acting or voice acting? Or voiceover or acting? And I'm like, well, first of all, voice acting is acting. So there's key differences. Obviously, you're not in front of a camera. You don't have to hit your marks. You don't have to worry about a costume, all that sort of stuff. But on the flip side, sometimes voice acting is a much more creative process in a way, because you're having to imagine everything going on. You're having to emote, maybe even more so on a microphone, because you don't have your facial expressions to help that. So you're really having to present that, just through your voice, and really, sell out to being present in that world. We don't have the, props and the scene and the wardrobe to help us. And oftentimes you don't even have the actor next to you. We did when we were doing Star Wars a lot, but, so it's just a different process, but man, it's still acting. And, I love them both for different reasons.
It's interesting. One of the ways that they kept sort of the superhero genre sort of interesting is sort of like we talked about, is the fact that you guys do have the opportunity to sort of dig deeper, reverse engineer these guys, sort of take them apart and kind of see, okay, what makes these guys tick that we grew up loving as kids and playing as toys. So I'm curious, sort of that's where we're at right now with this genre. So what do you think is next? Like what's the next thing that we're going to do with this genre to sort of make sure that we're sort of able to keep people's attention, so that it doesn't, because you can only deassemble so many superheroes before like even that idea gets tired.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's a really interesting question. It's sort of like the evolution. At first it was just cool to see a superhero on screen, like you got some of the early Batmans, and it is what it is. It's black and it's white. There's your villain.
Look, there they are.
And let's defeat him and go home. It's definitely not like that. You're right. It's an evolution of it. Now we're like, okay, we get that that's going to happen, but now we want to know more. It's a smarter storytelling now. Yeah. What's the future of that? I don't really know. That's a great question. I don't know. Maybe it is pushing the limits of the space. Maybe it's stupid answer. I don't know. Maybe we go to outer space.
I'm starting to think that it's the we're crossing the as inside baseball as it is, that we're crossing the studio barrier now, where they're now talking about 3 different Spider-Men being in one movie together, which now bringing Michael Keaton back into a different, I think maybe that's sort of bringing like different sort of franchises together that we never thought was going to happen.
Well, what if we start seeing more of like an indie feel for some of
Yes.
these? What if it's like a low budget superhero movie focused on the indie feel?
I'm here for this.
Interesting.
I'm here for this. And as we wrap up, I'm going to squeeze in one more Star Wars question because I'm such a fan of yours in that part, and I think it is fair to say that you have just as much ownership over the character of Anakin Skywalker as anyone. And I think a lot of us are very excited to see Darth Vader return in the new Obi-Wan series. I'm just sort of curious, what are you hoping to see there? Because he is like, that's your guy.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see more Star Wars like everyone else. I of course I've got connection with Lucasfilm, and I told somebody to pass along the message to Hayden, tell him I said hello, and because shooting Obi-Wan and all that. But I'm just here as a fan, man, for this new stuff. I'm not worried about like, should Anakin do this or should he not do that? Truthfully, I haven't had those thoughts. I'm just excited for new Star Wars like everyone else.
Well, I think that's why we love you, man, because you feel like, dude, you could come out here and just sort of shoot the bull with all of us. So seriously, it's an absolute pleasure to chat with you, man. And I really hope the next time we're talking is in person.
I hope so too. Thank you.
All right, man. Thanks, guys.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.